Franklin City Council meeting to order. Ms. Rhodes, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Austin?
Here.
Mr. Blankenship?
Here.
Mr. Hugan?
Here.
Ms. Jones?
Here.
Ms. McGinnis?
Here.
Mr. Rainierson?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Brian Reese, will you do the prayer and pledge, please?
Yes, sir. I invite you to join me. Our Father, we come to you tonight, and we're just so thankful for your goodness and your blessings upon us. We pray that as the council assembles tonight to deal with business at hand, we pray for the old business and the new business, give them direction and guidance, and understanding and wisdom as they make decisions on behalf of the city. We pray as we see sworn in a new officer here to the city of Franklin, that you would have your hand of blessing upon him and his life. Bless him for serving and protecting us. Thank you for the sacrifice his family's making and lending him to us to serve and protect. We just thank you for that. New addition here. Be with all of our first responders and police. Be with our country and the direction of it as a whole. And may we be good residents of our city, state, and country. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be seated.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, that gets us to announcements, presentations, and public comment. And on the very first one, we do have a new police officer to swear in, Mr. Brian Butler. This time we'll do that. First off, thank you and welcome. Will you raise your right hand, sir? I, Levi Butler,
I, Levi Butler,
a member of the Franklin, Indiana Police Department,
member of the Franklin, Indiana Police Department,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
discharge all of my official duties.
discharge all of my official duties.
Congratulations, sir, and welcome to the force.
Thank you.
And let's make sure we get one up, Tony.
One, two, three. Want your camera? Okay, one, two, three. Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I'm gonna send these to Tony and he can get them to you. Okay.
Are there any other announcements and presentations?
Mayor, move to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Motion and a second by Mr. Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that gets us, thank you. That gets us to old business.
Read all business by title only.
Second.
Second by Mr. Taylor. We have a motion and a second to read all business by title only under old business. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none. Item number one, Common Council Ordinance 21-03, as amended at the public hearing, rezoning to be known as Flagstone Properties Rezoning. Senior Planner Joanna Myers.
Good evening. As discussed at the March 1st meeting, that ordinance was updated with the additional commitments that was,
That were imposed by the council.
and agreed to by the petitioner. So that document is updated with those additional commitments and is ready for those members that were in attendance to that meeting to sign that ordinance.
Okay, so if there isn't any questions for Mrs.
Yes, Mayor, you technically have already passed the request, but if you recall, you added had 3, I believe, five additional commitments. So, 5 total. And so,
5 additional, wasn't it?
5 additional for a total of 8.
I have 3 and 5, I can't count. Thank God you didn't do 11.
Foot up there.
That's right. But after you made your additional conditions, we need to redraft the ordinance in accordance with that approval. So we're just presenting it tonight as redrafted, and we just ask that all members sign. It was technically approved at the last meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have it here for your signature.
Okay, so next item, Common Council Budgetary Ordinance number 21-10, amending Budgetary Ordinance number 21-10, amending the changing the title of the Public Relations Marketing Administrator to Assistant to the Chief of Staff. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, Jane jumped up, I didn't
Yeah,
have.
I do have a question. Since Mr. Dugan was not.
You will not be signing the ordinance. Is
Okay.
that what you're asking?
Yes.
You will not. It'll just be the 6 members who voted on it. Yes, thank
I
you.
just wanted to make sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jane. I'm gonna read this one again because I don't think that is correct. I just now I got it. Okay. Common Council Budgetary Ordinance number 21-10, amending Budgetary Ordinance number 20-10, amending and changing the title of Public Relations Marketing Administrative Assistant to Chief of Staff for the 2021 Civil City. And this is the second time on the agenda, but we talked about it 3 meetings ago, that we was looking to change that title because Tara's taken on more of a role in the mayor's office.
Correct. The job descriptions were amended by the Board of Works, and once the job descriptions were amended, we then have to amend our budgetary ordinance to reflect the titles that will match with the new job descriptions. So it was introduced at our last meeting, and now it's ready for your approval. There are no changes in salary, there are just changes in title, and when the State Board of Accounts reviews budgets, they want to make sure titles match with your salary ordinances. So that's why you're not changing the dollar compensation.
So I think we did have public hearing the last meeting.
No, we did not. It's set for it, it can be adopted. Did we have one last meeting? I think we just introduced it last meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because we did it, the Board of Works is there, I think it's easy to confuse it, but we actually introduced it, it's ready for public meeting and ready for your action tonight.
Okay, so I'll go ahead at this time and open it up for a public hearing if there's any questions on what Tara does.
Tara, do you have any questions?
I do everything. Everything. I do it all.
Okay, so I'll close the public hearing. She's already told you she does it all. So public hearing is closed. We're now ready for action.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Mrs. McGinnis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll go on to new business.
Move to read new business by title only.
Second.
Second by Mrs. McGinnis. All those in favor of reading title only?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Item number 1, presentation from Home Service regarding sewer line protection. City Attorney Lynn Gray, Mike Chambers, and Alan Burrell.
While Ally is making her way to the podium, as you all know, one of the major projects we've undertaken in addition to our roadway projects are the various sewer upgrades, sewer lines. We are doing, basically redoing our entire sewer plant and all of our lines. What is common when an entity does something like that is sometimes homeowners will find that they will have a problem with maybe, not because we're doing this, but they will be acutely aware that they also have sewer lines, laterals that come from their house that connect to our sewer lines. It is common also for homeowners to assume that that is the city's responsibility, and it is not, as many homeowners have found out. And when they find this out, they frequently call the city and say, are you going to repair the lines? And that is the responsibility of the homeowner. Because of that, There are certain companies, and that's what Ally is here to speak about, and there's one in particular, the only one that I'm aware of, that AIM endorses because it's been used by numerous municipalities throughout our state that offers this service to the homeowners. And this is by way of introduction. It's not a program that we offer, it's not a program that we administer, it's all done by HomeServe. But I felt it appropriate, given what we're getting ready to do with our sewer line constructions, to have the presentation, and then you folks can all decide if you think this is something that we should offer to our citizens and make available to them. So with that, we'll turn it over to Ally. Thank you for being here.
Yes, well, thank you all for having me this evening. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Ally Terrell, and I am here today on behalf of HomeServe. So some of you may be familiar with HomeServe, maybe not, but I'll give you kind of a background about who we are and what we do. So HomeServe, we are a leading global provider for home repairs programs. I'm here today to talk about our water and wastewater side, but we are endorsed, as she said, by AIM here in Indiana. We are the only program for service lines that is endorsed by them, as well as the National League of Cities. We are also an affinity partner with the National Rural Water Association, as well as the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water. We currently have over 1,000 partners across the U.S., including over 20 here in the state of Indiana. And I will provide you all a copy with all of our partners here in Indiana if there are any in your neighborhood community that you all would like to reach out to. So today I'm going to talk about our MLC service line warranty protections. And as Lynn said, what this is covering are those exterior service lines. So we do offer water service line. I know you all as a city don't provide water, but that is an additional product that is available. We do have sewer lateral protection as well, and then we also have an interior plumbing and drainage product. So to give you a background about why I'm here, why we're in this business, as Lynn says, a lot of these lines were placed into the ground decades ago. A lot of them are coming up to their end of their useful life. We sort of dubbed this as the infrastructure tidal wave. A lot of communities are facing aging infrastructure. Doesn't matter if it's large, small, urban, rural, it's still a huge issue for almost every community. And when it comes to these service lines, it is often a rude awakening to those homeowners realizing that this is not the city's responsibility, nor does their homeowner's insurance cover this. It's very rare that there is coverage for this through a homeowner's insurance provider. Not all of them provide that kind of coverage. And so that's where we come in to provide coverage now. So it's not, what we notice is there's not a great solution for the homeowner or for the city. From the homeowner's perspective, this is a fairly costly expense to have. A lot of times it is an unexpected financial hardship. If you've ever had to repair or replace one of your service lines, you know that this can be thousands of dollars. I mean, I've seen my parents just recently had a repair on their water line and it cost them $3,000. I've seen some that have gone well over $10,000. So it can be a lot of money. And most Americans, according to a bank rate study, this is from a few years ago, cannot afford a $500 emergency, especially with COVID going on in this past year. I would guess that that number is probably much higher now. So most of them just don't have money laying around for this, and they also don't have coverage available to them for this kind of product. And like Lynn says, a lot of times they do call the city. They look to you all to provide them with solutions and programs to help them out. So with the NLC, I'll talk about the few products that we have. As I am going through this, please interject with any questions, comments, concerns. I gladly welcome it. I do want this to be conversational. So getting started, I'll talk about our exterior lines. Like I said, we have water service line protection as well as sewer service line protection. Now, what this covers is from the...
It will automatically end in 5 minutes.
And what this covers is the homeowner's point of responsibility. So depending on wherever you all define that as a city, a lot of times it's from the meter to the foundation of the home, sometimes it's from the main to the foundation of the home. Wherever you guys define it is what we cover. And of course, it goes all the way to the foundation of the home for the exterior products. This covers up to $8,500 per occurrence. There are no limits to the amount of claims a homeowner can make in a year. There are no deductibles, no service fees, no paperwork, anything of that sort. And how all of this works, how we do it is we partner with the city. We use your all's logo and name on our marketing materials. We partner with you guys. But we are the ones who are handling all of the back-end support, the administration of the program, all of the marketing, customer service, claims. And how it works is we do 3 campaigns every year. The only way that we communicate with your customers is through mail. We never do any telemarketing or door-to-door sales, anything of that sort. And so on these campaigns, there are up to 2 mailings per campaign. And then on those letters, anything that we draft up, we send to the city first for approval before it's ever sent to your homeowners. On there, it acts as a free educational awareness campaign. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal in that we help educate your homeowners in your community that those service lines are their responsibility and not the city's. And then also we provide them with a program that will give them coverage to have those lines repaired or replaced. And so on that mailing, there is a phone number that goes to our customer service center. We handle all of those phone calls. So if a homeowner wants to add coverage, they have any questions, they want to file a claim, they call that phone number. And our customer service center is based down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It is a 24/7, 365 days a year call center. And so how this all works is if you're a homeowner, you notice that your service line is broken, it's leaking, or whatever the case may be, you make a phone call to us. Within a few hours, we will dispatch a local licensed plumber or contractor to get in contact with the resident. And then from there, the resident will set up a time for the plumber or contractor to come out and assess the situation. The plumber or contractor then makes the repair or replacement on those service lines. We pay those plumbers and contractors directly, so the homeowner is not paying anything out of pocket. Again, no service fees or deductibles, and also no paperwork, which is always so helpful. So from there, they make that repair or replacement. We're paying them directly. And then another added benefit to our program is that this is all done by local licensed plumbers and contractors. So when we sign on a new partner, we recruit plumbers or contractors that are in your community. They go through a rigorous vetting process. We make sure they pass a dark screening, that they're bonded, insured, they do quality work. We check their rating on the Better Business Bureau, all those sorts of things, making sure that they are reputable. So from there, we dispatch them to go fix it. There's a multitude of reasons for all of this, of course, is that it helps keep that money in your local economy. Also, plumbers and contractors in here are going to understand your community better in ordinances or laws that you guys may have, as well as any permits that they may need to pull. Another added benefit is we do put a guarantee on any of the repairs or replacements that we do to ensure that quality work is performed. And then lastly, another benefit too is we pre-negotiate the pricing with these plumbers and contractors. And since we work all across the country, we have a very good understanding of what a price is going to look like for repairs or replacements. And this is to help any kind of price gouging or anyone trying to take advantage of a situation. So that's sort of how all that works. Also, our interior plumbing and drainage product, we have this one as well. It's the same sort of setup with the plumbers and contractor network. This one, though, covers up to $3,000 per year. You get 2 claims as a homeowner, or $3,000 per occurrence, excuse me. 2 occurrences per year. Same phone number, same sort of thing with no service fees, deductibles, anything of that sort. And then from the city perspective, again, there is no cost to you all to administer this program. You are just partnering with us. We will handle all the back-end support, and no public funds are used for this program. As an added benefit for allowing us to market to your residents and to use your logo, we do offer a royalty. The royalty is 50 cents per paid warranty agreement per month. We pay that every January to the city. We do not put any stipulations on that money. That is solely up to the city on how you all want to use that. You can use it for, we have infrastructure projects coming up. We have one community that uses it for a fall festival every year. So it's really up to you, just additional funds you can use. If you all do not want to take a royalty, it is completely optional. And if you do decline it, then we'll pass those savings along to your homeowners. So that's sort of the program in a nutshell. I'm going to open it up now for discussion. Any questions, concerns, comments?
I just want to make a comment to the council. The reason that Lynn and I thought this was a good idea, because in the last several months, we've had quite a few homeowners come to the Board of Works meetings that's had trouble with their sewer lines, thinking it was our responsibility, and it's not. And then AIM actually is the one that reached out to us, not these folks. And AIM is Accelerate Indiana Municipalities. It's an organization that most towns and cities belong to. And I know it helps Jane and I a lot. They do a lot of research, and I know, Lynn, you're part of it.
Yes, I'm
So that's how we got here, and I, quite frankly, had seen this a year or so ago, and we thought that this is probably a good thing we need to offer for our citizens. So that's how she ended up, Mrs. Terrell ended up here, just so you know.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Ally or had any dealings with HomeServe that was here, but this was the one program that was locally endorsed and was also nationally endorsed. And as Steve said, it's with increasing frequency, and folks are a little, they're come in and try to fix it, and as a community, we want to make sure our sewer lines are working properly, because if they're not, that's not very good for the community, but sometimes it can be a burden on folks, and so if there's a program available to them and take advantage of it, maybe it will be less burdensome on those folks if they do have a problem. Ally, I do have a question. So let's say, do you have an average on what the insurance premium would be? Is it yearly, is it monthly? Any idea?
So it's typically monthly, but we'll work with the homeowner however they want to do it when they sign up with us, but typically monthly. So the price on that is usually for the water service line, if they wanted to add that, would be $5.75 a month, if that's from the meter. It's typically the average. And then for the sewer service line, it's about $7.75 per month, give or take. And then the interior plumbing and drainage is about $9.99 per month.
So if I'm going to pay $80 this year for your sewer line protection and I sign up, and then something happens to my sewer line 6 months from now, it's because it's an old sewer line, am I covered? Or is there an exclusionary period?
So typically it's about 30 days waiting period, but
So even though I've only paid you $80, you're hoping I don't make a claim, that's but from the moment I'm covered, then I'm covered.
yes.
And is that paid straight to you, or does that get handled through our sewer?
We handle it directly
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, we
homeowner.
don't do any of that. No money
No,
exchange.
there's nothing, the only involvement for the city really is just we use your logo and then also for you all to review our marketing materials. So we never send anything out to your residents without prior approval.
Ken Sal, DPW Superintendent.
We're only limited on a sewer repair, that dollar amount, and that dollar amount was,
$8,500 per occurrence.
okay. And like they said, we've had lots of homeowners, part of the problem, expense is sometimes our sewer laterals aren't simple from the house to the street. Sometimes they'll go across the neighbor's lawn, across another street, and the only limit there is the dollar amount, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. And that'll cover, and two, within that limit, will cover any like receiving or like the pavement, if it digs like that, so that's within that.
So we had a gentleman come tonight to a board works meeting, and what I know about the cost, he's gonna be close to that $8,500 range, because he's got 2 street cuts, and so he's aware of that. So, as the city,
Sign it up, wait 45 days.
yeah. Yeah, sign up, wait.
Just wait a little bit, yeah.
And now, how do you make any money? I mean, is it just the collective whole that you hope you get enough people statewide, nationally wide?
Yeah, we're able to
Typical
spread the
insurance,
risk.
you can spread the risk.
So how different is your program versus what we see in our mailboxes, the insurance policies? That is a similar product that companies send to my mailbox.
So I can't speak for those because I don't know who exactly is sending that. So there are a couple different things. Some homeowners insurance companies do offer what we call an insurance business rider policies to your homeowner's insurance.
Yeah, this is not insurance.
Okay,
This is not
this
insurance
is
company.
warranty. Okay.
This is a warranty-based company.
Yeah, I can't speak for them, whether they do quality work or how they do their business. For us, our mode of business is that we always partner with the city or utility that we're working with.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's unique.
Yeah, because here's our approach on this is, we could go send out a bunch of those mailings to your homeowners, but then it creates a lot of confusion for you all. And we've seen a lot of communities get very upset with this because people are just sending stuff out to your homeowners without telling you guys or keeping you in the loop. Sometimes they will even try to use your logo or something without permission. But for us, we always keep you guys in the loop with the agreement. in any communications we have with those homeowners. So that's the best I could say, because I can't speak for
I
everybody.
do know that Indiana American Water also has partnered with someone, and I don't know, is it you?
No, we're not affiliated with American Water.
Well, I'm sure you're familiar with who your competition is in some fashion.
Yeah,
But,
American Water.
you know, I've seen these type of plans before, but I've never seen it work for the city before. So it's normally independent, you know, you get something in the mail, you know, we're gonna warrant your sewer line from your home to the street. You know, you see them in the older neighborhoods in Franklin where the trees have gone through the pipes, busted,
Oh,
and you got a digger out there, and, you know, they're laying pipe that, you know, 50, 60, 40, whatever, 75 feet. whatever.
This isn't, just to be very clear, this is just an endorsed, but this is not a joint partnership.
Oh, I understand,
venture or anything
understand.
like that. I mean, we are not doing anything other than saying this is a company that has been vetted by our national organization.
I understand.
No joint venture. in that.
No, I understand, I'm not implying that.
And that's why we decided to bring it to the council and see if they want to do that endorsement because of the endorsement they have from AIM, which is highly respected organization, so.
So what other municipalities are you partnering with?
So some we have that are probably within about 50 miles of you guys. We have EVP Water Corporation, Brown County Water, Connorsville, Edgewood, Ingalls, South 43 Water. We have over 20. I can send you, I have the packets of information, and they're all of our partners. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? So where would we go from here? What would be next?
As I understand it, Ally has brought a packet of information for distribution to all the council members. I would think that maybe you want to take it home and look at it, review it, maybe reach out and call anybody that you may know on some of these other places if you want. And then if you give me the direction, say, yes, you want to endorse it, no, you don't want to, you know, whatever you want to do, I can simply reach out. Again, we're not publicly bidding this, it's not our project, we're just simply saying it's okay to do here, and then I would do that. And I think you'll probably hear that happening in several different places, because this has become, with the AIM endorsement, this has become a popular thing for other communities to consider, but I don't know if I answered your question there, but I would like you all to have this information, if you like to want to do some due diligence or whatever, and then at the back, at the next meeting, you can say, you know what, Lynn, go forward, or no.
Yeah, what I can do is I will pass out this information. Everything I discussed today is going to be listed in there, as well as my contact information. So if you guys think of any questions, if you guys have any concerns, anything at all, I strongly encourage you to give me a phone call, email, text, whatever works for you all. And then the next step, if you guys are comfortable and want to move forward, I can put together an agreement. I'll work with Lynn to go over that. She can review it and share it with you all. If everything's good to go, we sign the agreement, and then we start the onboarding process.
Are you based here in Indiana?
No,
You're based there?
no, I live in Nashville, Tennessee. So, straight down.
I told her to go off the interstate, get off and look for a courthouse.
Pretty much, that's all it is.
She got your
Very,
own,
very
so.
easy ride, so can't complain about that.
About 4 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I think probably the collective ability to be nationally is how they describe the risk.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah, yeah. So we have millions of homeowners who are our customers.
How odd is it that Tara and I know another Ally Terrell?
Do you really? I have never met another Ally girl, so this is new, it's exciting.
Okay, so is there any questions while she's here? So I guess next meeting, everybody will review this, the packet, and then we can discuss it at the next meeting and go from there.
Yeah, and if at the next meeting too, if you guys think of any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to jump on like a phone call or a Zoom or something, and I can, answer any last minute things if we can make a decision.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Al.
And then can I pass these out?
Sure.
or
Sure.
Should I give them to her? Whatever the correct approach is here.
You can tell we're very formal.
Some places are more formal than others. You're welcome. So I always like to follow the
Yeah, we
protocol.
always have armed officers in our meetings.
I like your style.
Yeah.
Guessing people get pretty angry. All right, well, again, thank you all so much for allowing me to come here today. You guys have a very beautiful town.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that gets us to the next item. Common Council Resolution number 21-15, a declaratory resolution designating an economic revitalization area for Essex, Eagle.
Very good. Yes, you did. Yes, proud of you.
I'm putting on.
Brett and I were taking bets, so.
I was in the Brett side.
Good evening, Dana Monson, Community Development Specialist. I am here with another company that is expanding in the city of Franklin. Pretty excited to keep bringing these with you. Jerry Cano is here from the company tonight as well. Essex is also known as Essex Wire, that you may have known, who've been around since the 90s, one of our very long-standing companies. They are doing an expansion over on Earlingwood Drive and came before the Economic Development Commission last week for a tax abatement. This is a personal property tax abatement only. I did want to kind of clarify that because so often we see real property as well. They are doing a real property expansion, but unfortunately they had started that process before they contacted me to start the abatement process. And as you know, we are not allowed by state law to start an abatement once construction and work has already started. So they were not eligible for the real property abatement, but they are eligible for the personal property abatement. So the council did approve, or the commission, excuse me, did approve recommending a 7-year personal property abatement with a 5% economic development fee. Because their ERA, their economic revitalization area, was established so long ago, it was back in 1991, the EDC attorney Rob Shastall wanted to have that redone and have a new one started. So I'm here before you tonight to request approval for the declaratory for the economic revitalization area. If you approve that, then we'll be back at your next meeting for the confirmatory and public hearing and tax abatement request at that time. So tonight is the declaratory for the economic revitalization area request.
Okay, so we can have a public hearing on this, right?
We'll have it at the next one. I will, yes, I've got it ready to go for advertising, and so we'll have it at the next meeting, it's April.
But you will vote on resolution
Yes.
21-15, and then that will then set for the hearing next time.
Okay.
That's when you'll confirm it again.
Okay, so,
Yes, Mr. Dugan?
I got a question for the gentleman
Sure.
from Essex.
Absolutely.
I was on the EDC back in that time. That was under Eddie Mayor Teets' term, and we did a tour of the building, and I remember it's Essex Wire, and you folks do these big magnetic rolls.
Yes.
It's very critical that you have, at that time was public service, which is now due, some kind of arrangement that you have absolutely no gap in power shut down. Here's my question, has that ever happened in the time you've been here? 'Cause I guess
Interruptions? Yes.
It's a mess, I understand.
Many interruptions, but they have been very short. So right now Duke actually put a second substation close to us. So when we do have an interruption, it's quickly taken care of.
I mean, we're talking like milliseconds, aren't we?
Yes, but that does affect us sometimes. We do have a high-end flywheel UPS system in the plant that maintains about 10 seconds going, at least of the most critical parts. But when it stops, our ovens are 600 degrees Celsius, so when it stops, everything starts going down. So it's not like a production line that you can start and stop.
Right.
It takes a long time to restart our process.
That was probably my first encounter with the business coming to town. I think
Yes.
somehow I remember Fort Wayne based or something. at
Yes,
that time.
that's where our corporate
But you folks have been here a long time, and you don't ask for a whole lot, really. You've just
Yeah.
been there operating all this
Yes,
time.
we have, and we have some really good employed people there.
So this is the beginning of several expansions that
Yes.
Jerry and I have been in discussion with. This is actually, I neglected to mention this, this is actually as part of their moving into making wire for electric vehicles, which we know is only going to grow in the automotive industry. So this is only going to be a larger and larger and larger product line for them. So something that we're going to be hearing quite frequently, I'm sure.
Yes, you will see me a lot here.
Well, and I just, again, make this comment that, not knowing the process, they missed out on the real property, and that's why they went to a 7-year personal property. Sean, you were probably gonna say that.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, we approved the 7-year versus the 5-year because they did miss out on a ton of abatements going the other way, so.
So I think, Mr. Austin, you kind of had a hand in that too, didn't you?
I do a little business with them, and I provide thermocouples to their company. So I'll not be voting on the actual, I'll be abstaining from the actual vote, but for the ERA, I'll be voting. But yes, and I'm glad that you guys stepped up and worked with our city to help, and yeah, glad you're here.
We appreciate it a lot.
Okay, any more questions for Tanya? If not, I think we're ready for action on number 21-15.
Move to approve Common Council Resolution 20-15.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hukin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we will see you next.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, the next item, request approval of yearly tax abatement compliance reports, Community Development Specialist Dana Monson.
Yes, these are our annual reports that we have to do for the tax abatements. So just as this one that we are working towards with Mr. Cano, every year that a company has an abatement, they are required to submit this report that tells us basically, here's where they stand, here's what they're doing in terms of investment, number of employees, average wages, things along those natures. So last Tuesday, the Economic Development Commission met and reviewed all of these companies that we have so far. We still have a few more outstanding that will be coming in, that these are the ones that were completed. All of these companies were found to be in substantial compliance by the Economic Development Commission, so I'm here tonight to ask your approval to approve these CS1 forms. I can answer any questions on any of these companies.
Yeah, we should have a motion unless there are any that you do not feel meets the substantial compliance test, you can move to approve all as presented.
Anybody stick out as a problem?
We had 4 that were just a little bit concerning that are going to be coming back and meeting with the commission. None of these were all,
This list is clean.
yes, they were all, like I said, substantially in compliance. They either had met all their requirements or were very close. Some of them missed just a little bit. The ones that did sent very detailed letters explaining, as I'm sure you can imagine, COVID had some strong impacts, particularly with our companies that are with the automotive industry or some of the industries that had been basically shut down for months at a time and they simply had no work or something to come. They were pretty creative in things that they did to make sure that they kept their employees, kept them moving. We really did not have very many, well, in fact, I don't think we had any that were laying off people. They were holding on to them. They were changing product lines. They were doing different things. Maybe they lost a few through attrition and just didn't backfill, that kind of thing. But overall, I think our companies in Franklin have just done an amazing job going through this. Mr. Taylor is on the Economic Development Commission. I don't know if you have anything
No,
you want to
we
add.
spent probably a good almost hour and a half, 2 hours going through each one, and there was just 4 that we really didn't have much info as to why or what were the downfalls, what were the loss of job, what was the loss in salaries. So we, voted to bring those guys back in and get a little more info on them. But the ones on the report were, we felt really good about moving forward with 4 of those. So.
It's light reading, I almost felt like I lost an hour's sleep this weekend.
It's a lot of fun.
Before,
We should put them all together.
before anybody asks to have somebody read these, I'll move that they be approved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Does everyone approve? Do you vote? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, hearing none, dispatch passes.
Dispatch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dana. Okay, next item, Common Council budgetary ordinance number 21-11. A budgetary ordinance amending budgetary ordinance number 20-10, amending and changing the title of the motor vehicle highway street crew leader to street foreman and motor vehicle highway street assistant crew leader to street crew leader for year 2021. Mr. Greg Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Members of council, apologize because you just amended the salary ordinance about 20 minutes ago. But I'm here before you with a couple updated approved job descriptions were completed at the Board of Works meeting. Just for your information, basically we had, as you're well aware, some retirement within our department. So we were looking to do some internal promotion opportunity, and to do that, we needed to sort of reevaluate and restructure our job descriptions. And so historically, we've had a street crew leader, and then we had a crew leader assistant. It was really kind of hard to differentiate those roles. And in turn, we did some homework with other municipalities and realized that the street foreman is probably a more appropriate title for what our previous crew leader position, the duties they were performing, and that our assistant crew leader role was probably more in line with what our current crew leader job description is. So to not confuse you, basically we are moving the street crew leader position into the foreman's role, taking that assistant role and just making it the formal crew leader. There is no additional monies being spent. It's just a formality because the job descriptions were changed and approved at the Board of Works meeting prior to this. We now need to amend the appropriate salary ordinance. So that is introduction, and I will be back next meeting. Sorry, Lynn.
No, that's all right. That's introduction.
Thank you, Brett.
Questions?
Nice job.
Thanks. Okay, if there isn't any other business, so that gets us to council comments. Mr. Austin? Mr. Blankenship?
No comments, Mayor.
Mr. Dugan?
Is there a Michael Sponberg here tonight? You know, okay, all right. Other than that, I have no comment.
Take a roll call.
Well, a couple of city councilmen, the mayor, maybe you got one of these two. We got an email.
I talked to him a couple times.
I spoke to him, I said, you know, he's got some legit things to talk about. Come in here and we'll listen. It's better, I think, when they do it in a public format.
Yeah.
So we might see him in another meeting. Since you know him, encourage him to come.
He used to live in Knoll, or?
He used to live in
Heritage.
Heritage, yeah, and then lives out in Brannigan, the new one,
Bluffs and Youngs Creek?
Bluffs and Round Street.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like it. Okay. Mr. Hukin, anything else?
That's enough, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Lisa Jones?
I'm good, thank you.
Ann McGinnis?
Just want to say that Rosie, the chamber, and the mayor did a nice job on the meeting last week, the state of the city. I watched it, and Rosie did a great job.
Thank you.
And I hate that we couldn't do it in person, but, you know, with the restrictions we had, I thought it was nice.
You did the best you could.
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken, appreciate it. Chris Van Eerson?
Actually, Ann just took the words right out of my
Oh,
mouth.
I'm sorry.
Just good job to you, and good job to Rosie, and everybody else that put that together.
Thanks.
Nicely done. Kept it short and sweet.
It was difficult for him, I could tell.
It's just not the same.
There was a couple one that you wanted to tell some stories there, but Tara was like,
Yeah.
Maybe we should continue that mute feature. We got some problems.
Yes, go ahead, Bob.
I want to shout out to Tara, congratulations on your new position.
Oh,
And you've done a great job as keeping the mayor focused and in mind.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Somebody think they have to do that.
But anyway, it's well deserved.
Thank you.
Good job, Bob. Sean Tate?
Nothing out there.
Okay. Mrs. Rhodes?
Nothing, sir.
Mrs. Gray?
No, nothing, sir.
How about Jenna? Can't leave Jenna out, sorry.
I do have a question.
Okay.
When you guys second something or when you move to approve something, how does that work?
besides people just saying, you know, I second, like,
What we follow Robert's Rules of Order, and so we're required to have a motion and then have a second before a vote can be taken on that actual motion.
because
You
yeah,
mean, who fights for it?
yes, yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We're just trying to see who gets it.
It's basically open,
Interesting.
anyone can.
I mean, I've
anyone
sat
can
through these and
motion
I
or
just
second.
always just, it goes right in through, in one ear, out the other, but I don't know what the order
Well,
is.
one reason that I usually say who seconded the motion, because the recorder over here has a hard time of picking that up all the time, and they have to really study hard to figure out whose voice that is. So they said it makes it easier for them if I just say who does the second. So that's why I do that.
There's no designated seconder.
Okay, interesting. No, thanks for letting us come.
No, thank you. You guys do a great job. And Mr. Clark, thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Anything else?
No, we got the alarm system bid approved at the Board of Works, so we're moving right along with that.
Get
So,
closer.
yeah, should have a ribbon cutting soon.
Okay, I think now we're ready for a motion. Did I leave somebody out?
I think Jenna wants to make a motion.
She wants to second.
I'll move we adjourn.
Have a second.
Technically, that's the only one that doesn't legally require a second.
You got it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.